Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. So today we're really jumping into something specific, lesson 235 from the Course in Miracles workbook.
Right. And the title itself, wow. God in his mercy wills that I be saved. I mean, that statement alone, it just carries so much weight, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And our mission, really, for this deep dive is to get right into the heart of that, unpack what this idea of divine mercy actually means for you, what salvation looks like here, and maybe how understanding it can uh, free us up from some fear.
Exactly. And the sources we're looking at, they give us some key insights,
Yeah.
yeah, but also practical ways to apply it, even exercises to sort of grasp this pretty profound idea.
Well, welcome to Daily Harmony. Okay, so let's dive in. The absolute core, the foundation for this whole lesson is that statement itself. God in his mercy wills that I be saved.
Right. And what the sources really pull out is that mercy here isn't passive. It's not just God being nice. It's presented as the active verse, the real drive behind
A
salvation.
catalyst almost.
Yeah, the catalyst. It's not something you have to earn or deserve. It's described as just part of God's nature, this constant active wanting for us to come back to peace.
That framing of mercy alone feels like a shift. And it sounds like the sources define salvation differently too, maybe not like a one-time rescue event.
That's right. Looking at the materials, salvation isn't really a single moment or, a reward you get at the end. It's much more like a continuous process, a journey back to wholeness.
Okay.
And it's divine mercy that makes that journey possible, that guides us back towards, well, peace and that feeling of unity with the divine. Less about being saved from something, more about remembering who you are.
Right, remembering and returning. Okay, so if mercy is the force and salvation is the journey, what are the sort of key themes that the sources say are really essential to get?
Well, a huge one is universality. The sources couldn't be clearer on this. This salvation, this path back that mercy makes possible, it's for everyone, full stop.
That's massive. So no matter what mistakes you feel you've made or how unworthy you might feel sometimes, this is saying the door is always open.
Unconditionally.
Precisely. It just completely underlines the unconditional nature of God's love, God's mercy. No one gets left out.
And that connects directly, I imagine, to another theme you mentioned from the sources, this idea of unconditional love and recognizing our own inherent worth.
It really does. This lesson, the way the sources explain it, is deeply focused on helping you see that your worth isn't based on what you do or don't do. It's inherent. You have value just because you are part of the divine creation.
Which is such a powerful counter to those feelings of, well, not being good enough, right? That sense of unworthiness so many people carry around.
Oh, absolutely. This perspective is incredibly important because it directly tackles guilt and that belief in needing to earn love or peace. It says God's love isn't conditional. It just is. And it's for you. Always.
Okay, so if you start to actually take that in, the practical effect has got to be a big shift in how you see yourself, yeah? Less judgment, less focus on flaws. Yes, exactly. The sources really encourage a conscious shift away from that pattern of self-judgment, picking apart your faults and moving towards self-acceptance and crucially extending that same compassion, that same mercy to other people too.
Oh.
So you're shifting your focus from I'm not worthy to recognizing, wait, this divine love, this mercy, it's here now and it confirms I am worthy.
So with ideas this powerful, why is this lesson, lesson 235, seen as so significant within the whole framework of A Course in Miracles?
Well, if you look at the course overall, this lesson really hammers home its central message. God's love is the only reality, and our feeling of being separate from it, that's the illusion. It gives you a framework for accepting God's will, which is your peace, your salvation, instead of thinking you have to strive and struggle and force your way there through sheer effort.
So it helps cement that core shift. The Course is aiming for moving away from, guilt and fear being the main drivers towards operating from a place of love and acceptance instead. Choosing grace over feeling punished or needing to punish.
Yeah, exactly right. And then the natural question is, okay, great theory, but how do you actually live this? How do you bring it into your day-to-day?
Right.
And the sources are pretty helpful here, offering some really tangible practices.
The practical stuff. Okay, like the daily affirmation. I saw that mentioned. Starting the day with, God's mercy surrounds me and I am worthy of salvation.
Yes. And the purpose explained there is about deliberately setting an intention. You're consciously opening your mind to feel that divine love, to remember it's present, and you're actively working on building up that sense of inherent worth we talked about. It's like tuning your frequency for the day.
I like that. And the other big applications seem to be about interactions with others, seeing them through that same lens of mercy.
Yes, and this is where it gets really practical, especially when there's friction or disagreement, right? That's usually where judgment flares up. So the practice suggested is to consciously pause and remember, okay, this person, just like me, is on their own journey. They're also encompassed by the same unconditional divine mercy. It really helps foster understanding. It allows you to let go of the need to be right or to judge their mistakes. It's choosing to see their inherent worth, offering that grace.
That sounds challenging but potentially game-changing in relationships.
It really can be.
And beyond those daily actions, the sources also point to specific exercises, right, to go a bit deeper, like meditation.
There's a suggestion for a short, maybe 10-minute silent meditation. And the focus is specifically on mercy. The idea is to visualize God's mercy almost like light or warmth, just enveloping you and then extending it out to others. The goal isn't just thinking about it, but actually feeling that peace, that acceptance that mercy brings.
Experiencing it.
Yeah.
But what about the journaling?
Yeah, the journaling exercise involves reflecting on a time when you felt maybe particularly judged or unworthy, or maybe when you made a mistake you feel bad about. Then the exercise is to look back at that memory, but specifically through this new lens of God's unconditional mercy.
Okay.
What changes? What insights come up? It's a way to reframe those past experiences, maybe forgive yourself or others involved, by realizing that mistake didn't actually diminish your fundamental worth. Mercy was always there, even if you didn't see it. Trusting God's will for peace includes peace with your past self, too.
That reframing sounds incredibly healing. So bringing this all back to you, the listener, the sources actually pose a question directly, almost like homework, but in a good way.
Yeah, exactly. It's a reflection prompt. How does really recognizing God's mercy change how you perceive yourself and others in your everyday life? It's really asking you to think about the impact. If you truly accepted deep down that you are worthy because of this constant unconditional mercy, not because you're perfect, how would that change the way you feel about yourself walking through your day?
Yeah. And if you extended that same understanding to everyone you meet, knowing they too are held in that same mercy, despite appearances, how might that shift your interactions, especially the difficult ones? How might it help you trust that God's will for peace applies to them too?
It's powerful stuff to consider, because the sources really paint mercy not as some abstract idea up in the clouds. They describe it as this ever-present, constantly active force, always here, always available, like a continuous invitation back to peace, back to unity.
An invitation you don't have to earn, just accept.
Exactly. It's always willing your salvation, your return to peace. So just to quickly recap the core idea from Lesson 235, based on our sources, God's mercy isn't just a feeling, it's the act of power making our salvation, our return to peace, possible.
And this salvation, this return journey, it's open to absolutely everyone. It's all rooted in unconditional love, recognizing your inherent worth.
Which naturally leads to shifting away from judging yourself and others, letting go of guilt and fear, and choosing acceptance and compassion instead. It's about freedom, really.
The freedom. And the sources give us concrete ways to practice this, that daily affirmation, interacting mercifully.
And those deeper exercises like meditating on mercy or journaling, to reframe past experiences with that lens of grace and forgiveness.
So maybe the final thought to leave you with, echoing the sources, is that very question. How does recognizing God's mercy truly change your perception of yourself and others in your daily life? Perhaps try one of those practical steps this week, even just the affirmation, and just see what happens, see what shifts for you.